Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Krsnatarian way of cooking. So for this Nanda utsav, I decided to share with you a very nice paneer gravy recipe. This is actually called Paneer Tikka Gravy Masala. If you have checked on the channel, I have already shared one of the recipes of Paneer Tikka Masala. This is just another version of it, and this is actually much creamier and can be prepared quicker than the previous recipe. In this recipe, I have skipped the marination process of the paneer and the vegetables because I have seen many restaurant style Paneer Tikka Masala Gravy where they do not marinate the sabjis. So I decided to do it in that similar manner, and the results are awesome. You just have to work with the gravy nicely, and once you have that same flavor, then your entire sabji will turn out exactly like restaurant style. So now let's go towards the recipe. In a wok, I have taken around a quarter cup of ghee. So keep the heat on medium and let the ghee heat up. Now in this I am going to add around 1 cup of chopped celery. Instead of celery, you can even use cabbage. Just make sure that you finely chop it like this. In this, add a little bit of hing or asafoetida, which is going to be around a quarter teaspoon. Now I'm going to saute this for some time. So I wanted to also say that I have used around 5 medium-sized tomatoes, which I am going to nicely process it once this color changes of the celery. I'm going to add around half cup of raw cashews. Roast it a little bit until it turns a little bit golden. Now I'm going to here add the tomatoes. These are 5 medium ripe tomatoes. Now cook these tomatoes nicely so that the tomatoes leave all the rawness aside, and one by one now start adding the spices to it. Here it is 1 tablespoon of degi mirch or the coloring red chili powder, then around 1.5 teaspoon of turmeric powder. Mix everything nicely. Then add around 1 teaspoon of garam masala powder. Now I've also made some homemade spice for this paneer tikka masala, which includes some paprika powder, which has a little bit of citric acid, nutmeg and mace powder, turmeric, black pepper powder and cumin seed, and around half teaspoon of salt. So here, except the mace and the nutmeg and the citric acid, all the quantities go equal amounts, and the remaining 3 like the nutmeg, mace and the citric, you have to just use like a pinch of the spice. Now blend this mixture without any water and wash that wok. Again add around 2 tablespoons of ghee, heat it up and add these bay leaves, a stick of cinnamon, 2 green and black cardamom, 2 to 3 cloves. Now this bay leaves, it has got very much hot, so you remove this bay leaves and then add another 3 bay leaves. This will actually increase the flavor of the paneer tikka. So now add around 1 tablespoon of this chopped ginger and saute it until a little bit golden. The flavor of bay leaves is very subtle, but when you will use this kind of technique, then you'll know the flavor of the tikka masala, how enhanced it gets. Now I'm going to add the blended puree of the tomatoes which were cooked with the spices. Look at the lovely color. Now in this I am going to add a total of around half cup of water. So I added first a quarter cup and then later on a little bit quarter cup. What you have to make sure is that the heat is on extremely low. And also the water content is not too much, so only half cup of water is enough, because you want your this gravy to be nice and creamy. So the content of water, if it is lesser, then it will be more tastier. Now here I have added around 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So already there in that spice I had added some salt of that paneer tikka which I made. So that's why I've added only 1.5 teaspoon of salt here. Mix it nicely. Now I'm going to start adding the vegetables. So I'm going to add a handful of cauliflower florets. Mix well. Even if you are keeping the heat on low, because it doesn't have much water content, it will actually stick a little bit, so make sure to continuously stir it. So this is the another quarter cup of water which I was talking about, which I added when I felt that the cream was sticking too much at the base. Now I'm going to add a handful of green bell peppers. You can use any other color bell peppers as well. Mix nicely. Then I'm going to add around a cup of paneer cubes. Mix everything well. Now for around 2 to 3 minutes you have to cook this. So first you're going to crush some fenugreek leaves or kasturi methi, which is around 1 teaspoon. Mix it and now cover with a lid and cook it for around 2 to 3 minutes. After 2 to 3 minutes, nicely stir the entire gravy and then add around a quarter cup of cream to it. Mix nicely. Now again add around 1 tablespoon of cream. You just have to make sure that the cream is not too much. So I added another 1 tablespoon of cream. Mix nicely. Now the last 1 tablespoon of cream. Cover it with a lid and cook for 2 to 3 minutes on low heat again. Open the lid. And if you see that the cauliflower is cooked, it's just a perfect texture of the cauliflower and the bell peppers. They are not too hard and also they have a crunchy texture. At the same time they are cooked. The bell pepper has not lost its color. So this is what we want. So now I'm going to turn off the stove and I'm going to just garnish with around 1 tablespoon of cilantro or coriander leaves. Mix everything nicely and now serve it in a bowl. So this is how nice and creamy our paneer tikka gravy masala is. Do follow these steps properly. Do make that spice which I recommended, because that spice will really help enhance the flavor of this tikka masala. Some pointers I would give is that the bay leaves which we use initially, they have to be in hot ghee and removed right away, and then the remaining bay leaves have to be added. Here I am garnishing now with cilantro, and then I will also pour a little bit of cream on top just for an extra appearance. Place a tulsi leaf and offer it at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna.